Welcome to ZloViewer. In this video, we will import an unorganized set of media that consists of 192 gigabytes of data, over 40,000 files and most certainly duplicates amongst them. We are using actual data from my own media collection consisting of a photos folder that has a large amount of pictures and videos going back to 2003, a photo other folder that has random unorganized media and photo projects, and download of all my media that is stored in Google Photos that was downloaded using Google Takeout. Note that these are copies of the original data sources. You should always keep a backup of your original data. One thing to note: if you are using Google Takeout and you choose to include Hangout or text messages, you will want to look through the folder names and modify any that have weird characters in them, as ZloViewer will be able to access those folders. Here I've already modified a number of them but left this one so you can see what I mean. By default, ZloViewer stores its database files under Windows App Data. As we import data, you will see these files grow in size. They serve to keep track of your media and cache thumbnails and metadata. Within the database folder of the Settings tab, you can view the status of the database and, if needed, choose a different location. Currently there is nothing in the ZloViewer database. As you use ZloViewer and go to new directories, they will be scanned and processed as accessed, or you can bulk scan a directory as we do here by right-clicking on it. ZloViewer will use all available CPU cores when scanning, however the bottleneck will be the speed of your hard disk drive. An SSD will see significant improvement in speed over a hard disk drive. Whenever ZloViewer is working, you have the ability to either pause the current task or stop scrolling to view the activity log. To stop scrolling, simply click anywhere above the current line in the log. Clicking at the end of the log will resume scrolling. We are using an SSD here, and the entire multi-step process of importing this dataset took about an hour. Subsequent reads over this dataset will be significantly faster as the metadata and thumbnails will be cached. Note the increase in size of the metadata cache. We'll speed up here to get to the next step. Here we compare the metadata to our database and add new information as well as resolve any conflicts. Now we begin the most time-consuming part of the process by scanning all of the files. The scanning process does several things, including the creation of thumbnails and generating various hashes that can be used for comparing the media, as we will see later. Videos take significantly longer than images to process, and may cause the ETA to be higher than the actual amount of time that is left to finish. Note that of the 40,000 files presented, we've found 26,010 that are either images or video. Also note that you can see that the size of the thumbnail database is increasing. Once again, we'll speed up the process. Once ZloViewer is finished, you may get a message indicating that some files were not able to be imported and may be corrupt. We'll take a look at that in a moment. The directory tree now indicates some additional information about the ZloViewer folder. The first number represents the number of media files within that directory, and the second is the number of media files in that directory and all subdirectories. Now let's look at our corrupt files. You can delete them, stop ignoring them, or examine them by right-clicking on one and choosing to view in Explorer. The rest of the database information needs to be refreshed, which we can do by simply going to another setting folder and returning. That completes this step in this tutorial. Here we'll exit and choose to perform a database cleanup. It's recommended to do this fairly regularly, and especially when major changes have occurred to the database. It will check for missing files, refresh media counts, and free up space in the ZloViewer databases when data is no longer needed.